Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start. Item number 1 is report from Fire Chief Garrett Brubaker. I think he's got some good news to tell us this time.
I don't have a whole lot to cover since the last update, but we will be filling our last 3 full-time open positions starting tomorrow. So I can finally say we're fully staffed. We do have 3 personnel that we're sending down to the academy to get certified. So by December, we'll have everybody 100% certified according to the state of Georgia. We have received 2 grants within the last week. The first one is not as much as the second, but I'll go ahead and cover it first. It was a grant for $172,900. The federal share is right at $130,000, with our local share being right at $43,000, and we're looking at doing SPLOS with it, and it'll be for generators for 8 of our stations. So it'll bring all of our stations up to where they have fixed generators at the station for inclement weather and things like that. And most of these stations have the community rooms, so in the event we do have large-scale flooding, tornadoes, anything like that, we can turn them into shelters or whatever we may need. The big one is the AFG grant that we finally got. We've applied for it the last 2 years. It was for $1,299,000 that we put in for, and we were awarded it. So the federal contribution to it is $939,545. This will be used to purchase a new aerial apparatus. So the big ladder truck that we have, the one that we currently have is a 99 model. So it's 25 years old, so it's at the end of its life as being a frontline apparatus. The contribution that we're going to have to make is right at $400,000, which is significantly cheaper than what we would have had to purchase a new pumper this year or a new engine apparatus. I'm still waiting on bids to come in. Right now, I've sent out the request for proposal, and I'm just waiting on those vendors to reach back out to me. They have till the end of the week to give me their information. This is something that is definitely needed. It's stationed down in Tallapoosa, where a lot of our target hazards are that would require a truck like that. Plus, being able to have the old truck as reserve will give us some credit on ISO. So my main goal is the next time we get audited by ISO is to go from a 4.4X down to a 3.3X, and we're on track to make that happen. But I definitely believe this is a huge milestone for us. Not many agencies get an AFG grant just for procurement of vehicle acquisitions. Hopefully in the next work session, I'll be able to bring y'all a proposal for which truck we need to go with. But I just want to go ahead and give y'all that good news that that's a pretty significant grant that we were able to get.
Good deal. Thank you.
Let me add to that. That was the second highest grant for this whole state of Georgia. It come from Senator Ossoff, ever how you say his name, came from his office. And there was one county in the state of Georgia that got more than we got, but that was the second highest in the state of Georgia. And it took some work from him and his department to get a $1 million grant from a Democrat senator with an 83% Republican rate in Haralson County. So he's done a real good job. Thank you. Okay. Item number 2 is a public hearing on a rezoning request. Haralson County Tax Map 0105-0042E, located at U.S. Highway 78 and Hurst Mill Road. The current zoning is A1 agriculture. Requested zoning is conditional use of 20 acres for an event venue, requested by Joseph Couch. Mr. Couch, you want to come up?
So I'll just start with introducing myself. My name is Joseph Couch. My wife, Brandy Couch. Got 3 daughters, Bristol, Kenzie, and I have an 18-month-old, Rylan. We've lived in Haralson County. I've owned property since 2017 here. We didn't actually build a house until 2 years ago, so we've been down here for a little over 2 years now. Bought 155 acres to start with. I purchased 20 more from Mr. Hubbard a couple of years after we got here. But what we want to do over there is we want to build an approximately 8,000 square foot event venue. It'll be brick, timber frame, wood, wood brick veneer. It'll have a 3,000 lineal foot drive paved from Hearst Mill to the venue and a paved parking lot. It'll have a gated entrance at the top, just because we're only going to be using it for the weekends. That's when most event venues are rented. The venue will have a bride and groom suite downstairs. It'll also have a honeymoon suite upstairs. And a small caterer's prep kitchen, no exhaust hoods, none of that stuff. All it is just heaters, warmers, and refrigerator. It'll also feature a crying room upstairs so that you can still view the ceremony from inside behind glass. One of the babies is acting up. We'll also build a small covered pavilion just to the north of the venue. Pretty sure y'all probably all seen that, the survey. If not, I got a couple copies here with me. It's also located about 200 foot from the lake, so the lake is visible from the venue. There'll be a few open pit area, fire pit areas in the courtyard between the pavilion and the building. Mainly for them to have somewhere to go while between ceremony and reception. If that's what they choose to do. It'll have 5 female bathrooms and 5 male restrooms, all in the same restroom, with 5 toilets. They will all be ADA applicable, 36 inches sink, everything for ADA thresholds and everything. Other than that, that's about it. It's going to be located, if you look at the thing, it's pretty centrally located on my 155 acres. The closest neighbor is 974 feet. That's Mr. Hubbard. He's 974 feet away. Most of the neighbors are about 2,000 foot away, give or take a few feet. We intend to have the traffic enter and exit from Hearst Mill Road, even though my driveway comes off of US 78. It's not going to be used. We're going to try to deter all the visitors to exit to the left, just to keep from everything backing up at US 78 there. Like I say, deter because you can most of them, but they're in a 2,000-pound car. If they decide to turn right, you ain't gonna step in front of them. Other than that, we've tried to think of, I've been a contractor for 22 years. I've built 206 Love's truck stops, 155 Chick-fil-A's, probably 100 discount tires, several schools. So I tried to take into account any liability it might face and any concerns that a building department might face or see while we were planning it. Other than that, that's about all I got. Got any questions?
Does anybody have any questions?
I don't, that's some pretty property, so, that's a
I've been very
ambitious
blessed.
event center. Sounds very nice.
I'm gonna sink about $2 million into it. And it's all my money. I'm not borrowing a penny from nobody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Is there anybody to speak against this zoning? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 3. That'll be on the regular meeting on September the 3rd. September the 3rd.
Also, this was recommended for approval by the Planning and Zoning Board.
Well, we have waited our allotted number of days
Yeah,
by September 3rd. Okay.
yeah, our time's up now,
Uh-huh.
but it's in the past, we've decided not to go into a special call meeting and
Right.
vote on, at the same
Okay.
work session. So it'll be at the next regular meeting.
Okay.
Public hearing on the proposed millage rate. You have that in front of you. Does anybody have any questions? Once again, our millage rate for the county is lower than it was the last year. It has been dropped every year for the past 6 years that I've been the chairman. It has come down every year. questions? Okay. Item number 4 is the AmbuCare lease. I think, Avery, you were working on that.
Yes, this is just the vehicle lease for the ambulance that was purchased for AmbuCare. And I think we had looked at it a while back, but since we just got the ambulance in, it's now come up again for the board's consideration. And it's just where we lease the ambulance to them for a nominal rate for them to use, since they provide those medical services to the county pursuant to the emergency medical services agreement that we have with them.
Okay, I've got a question. On that lease, is that just for the ambulance, or is that for the equipment also that we paid for, that we put in all the other ambulances?
We can, it's just for the vehicle, but we can add the equipment to that as well.
I think we want to go ahead and add that, all the equipment that we paid for in the other ambulances. That ambulance plus the others.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get for all the ambulances, saying for the equipment.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll add the equipment to the lease with this current ambulance, but the equipment will cover all the equipment that we've provided for all the ambulances.
Is there a list of those equipments? Do we have a list of that equipment that's,
We have a list from where the purchase was made, from the invoice.
and then we had a list from the equipment that we purchased some time ago, didn't we?
Yeah, that was the Halo machines or something like that, the CPR machines.
Right.
Okay. And there was some discussion about on that ambulance, since it is leased from the county, we would like to have some recognition, our county logo, possibly on the sides and the back of that, ambulance.
Insignia on either side of it. so
And
they
the back.
know that it was furnished by the county. Anything
Kind of
else?
like the signs that say furnished by your SPOS dollars or something like that.
Yeah,
Say
but it just
furnished by
says
the
really
county.
more, it's Haralson County
Just the county
government.
logo, really.
County logo.
County logo,
We've
really.
got that insignia that's on all the county equipment.
Yeah, that's what I had in mind.
Okay.
Any more questions?
In case the commissioners were wondering, also, the AmbuCare is paying for the tag. It is titled to Haralson County, and they also pay the insurance on it.
Okay, item number 5, Title VI policy. Maria, it's your turn.
Okay, with our transit system, we have to abide by the Title VI plan, which is the Civil Rights Act from 1964. So we have a update that has been put out that we have to, that I've already worked on the update, but I am asking for the board's approval to continue the Civil Rights Plan. It is mandatory with our transit program as long as we are receiving dollars from state and federal to fund the program.
Anybody have any questions?
It's just a plan you got to,
It's a plan for just the again, according to the Civil Rights Act.
okay, all right.
Yeah,
It's just part of the rules that they make you follow.
part of what we have to follow
The
with
hoops,
FTA and GDOT.
okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Item number 6, financial software RFP summary. Allison, you want to explain this?
Okay, so we put out an update RFP for our software. We've had our software since 2005, and it's pretty much outdated. There's a lot it does not do that we need. There's a lot of things that cost this office a considerable amount of time that should be available to us at the click of a button. So we received 6 submittals back in. And I was just gonna give you the high spots on each of them and why we did or didn't like them. Without saying the name of the company at this point, if you wanna know, that's fine, and that way if anybody has questions going into it. But the first one, this is a 5-year cost. The cost for putting this in the first time, getting it set up and everything, and then the first of this year plus 4 more years of maintenance and customer service. So the first one that we came to, and we just kind of ruled out right off the bat because it was $1,265,000 for 5 years, and we didn't figure you would really want to go that much. The second one turns out to be $643,000, and with this particular company, as soon as the RFP went out, I got an email in saying we would like an extension on submitting it because we have people going on vacation. Then the next email I got was the following week after the deadline for questions to us about what we were asking for. And they wanted an extension on the deadline for questions because they forgot to send them. So none of that made us feel real good about what would happen on a Tuesday when we're in the middle of payroll and we need help. And then we got further into it. They would not give references. Not that they didn't, they would not. They said they would not. They have been in government applications since 2021. And there's several items out of key items out of payroll that they don't have, and they do not cover business licenses. So we ruled that one out. The third one, let's see, the third one was just short of $500,000, and they are really more than what we need. And Don has experience with this one. Carroll County switched over to it before he left Carroll County. And it's more than we need, and there's parts of it that are, it's just, why spend that much money if you don't need it, is our thoughts on that one. The next one was right at $400,000. It does not have time and attendance, which is a big item that we really wanted with this one. And it doesn't have several of the key role items that we asked for in it. It is not compatible with Microsoft Word. It's only compatible with Exchange and Azure. So there again, that's another problem, another expense. So that left us down to 2. And out of these 2, we've got the first one. One was down to about $154,000 for 5 years. So as we got into it, it does not have time and attendance. You have to go with a separate company. It doesn't have a lot of the employee self-serve options that we were looking for. There's no business license in this one. Training is done remotely. And that was kind of our issues with that particular one. So the one we landed on happens to be, for 5 years, it's gonna be approximately $310,000. Their 5-year maintenance plan is locked in when you sign the contract. Some of the others are not. We have 30 days of support from the transition team. So any problems we have, they're gonna be right there for us. This is the company that owns the current software that we use. So the transition from the current software to their new version of things is much It's much smoother, it's much more dependable. You're more likely to have the correct information without having to go back and forth. Most of the companies give 2 to 4 years of historical data transition in. With this one, we have access to our historical data at no additional cost. With part of theirs, the first time we run a payroll, they will be standing here in the office with us. The first time we do a major check run, they'll be standing here in the office with us to help us. If there's any kind of glitch, then we've got them here. They have all the modules we ask for. Customizable reports. We know for a fact that their support system is very good. When we call in, we get a very rapid response. So unless the IT comes across something technical that, you know, would throw it out for us, this will be the one that we would be requesting that you consider approving.
Any questions? We're already dealing with this company in the county already, and it would be a easy transition.
It's the same company that deals with the tax assessor and tax commissioner on some items. Not that ours deals directly with theirs, but they have good service with them also. So this is something, like I said, we've had the other for 19 years. So,
How is that to be paid? Is it annually over that 5 years, or?
you would pay the original to get it implemented and set up.
Which is the 300?
No, the 300 is the entire 5 years.
Okay.
Implementation is about 94,000. And then it's 53,793 a year for the customer support and maintenance.
Is that in Splash, or, cause that is an upgrade, is that Splash? Allowed
The
it?
original 94 could be spliced. The original implementation cost could be spliced. Probably the yearly maintenance, we're gonna have to work into the budget.
Well, cause we're on our budget now, have already done our budget, and we're gonna purchase it before next budget period, so we got
yes.
94,000 in Splash that we could purchase it with?
Yes.
Okay.
Any more questions? Thank you, ma'am. Item number 7 is budget amendment. Don?
Each one has a package at your desk. Don't be alarmed, it's too long. So I'm giving you a chance to look over it before we vote on it. Just remember, this has to deal with ARPA money that we moved over to the general fund, finish out the year, so that was over $4 million that we put into the budget. So that's one of them that's bringing this in, that we didn't have it in there last year at the start of the year. So the budget amendment for the general fund is gonna be $7,689,137.
Say it again.
$7,689,137. And you'll have all the pages of where that money is going, where the revenue's coming from, what expense line items are coming through. And that's just the general fund. All the other funds are funds that we've got, that other departments control or spend money that we need a budget for, such as the Victim Equipment Fund, Employees Incentive Program Fund, Law Library, the sheriff's forfeiture fund, the drug abuse fund, jail staffing fund, juvenile court supervision fund. It will be the E911 fund, we need to make there. Law enforcement block grant fund, sanitation services, fire protection, recreation, planning, zoning, and marshal. The new recreation fund for the ball field for the special needs. The drug task force fund. The American Rescue Plan. Haralson Circuit Mental Health Court Fund. And the local government share of opioid settlement. That's money we get from opioids. That'll be the ones that we're gonna be having for the next 18 years. And the last one is the community block grant that the water authority is using, and we have to run it through our fund. So I just wanted to give you a time to look through that. Any questions you bring up next time.
Any comment on that, on the block grant for the water authority that has to run through here? That is another, I think it was $764,000 grant that the county received. But I'd like to make a statement here too. We're not that bad at making a budget. So we didn't miss it, 7 million. We had a couple of entities that went over, but we also, bought $6.5 million worth of land. So that would have been ARPA money and moving it around within the system. That would be part of this.
We've got some fun, like I said, the open going on with the crisis action team, we didn't have that at the first of the year. That's
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
And, mental health, topics of mental health, another new one.
So, you know, we had a couple of entities to go over, but as a whole, it went pretty good, because we spent some money that like $6.5 million, we didn't know when we created the budget last year that we were gonna spend that money.
And that money's part of the 7 million. So,
Yeah.
So, and another thing, there's the additional LMIG that was over 200,000. There was the sale of the properties for 434,000. Road department sold $155,000 worth of equipment. So all of that becomes part of that number. It's not, it's kind of scary, but not like it sounds.
One part bought the fire apparatus for $429,000, that came out of the American Rescue Plan money, we had to cover that, it had to be moved over to the fire.
Yeah. So it's not that bad. It looks bad when you see that $7 million, but we're a little better at creating a budget than that. Any more questions? Thank you, sir. Item number 8, the DFAX board. They've asked that Samuka Strout be appointed to their board. So if you have anybody that you would think would like to serve on that board, that's just who they would like for us to nominate.
Who is that person? I won't ask you to say that again.
Okay,
All right,
it was, yeah, that's who it was.
all right.
But I don't know them, do you?
No, sir. They serving currently?
No, this would be a new member, the member that they're wanting to replace one. This would be a new one. And they would like, this is their preference.
Okay.
Okay, item number 9 is a regional library board member. We'll need to appoint that. the regular meeting. And if you have anybody, they have not recommended anybody. So if y'all know of anybody, bring their name to the next meeting, but contact them beforehand and make sure they're willing to serve. Any questions about that one? Item number 10, Department of Behavior Health and Disability Development Board member. That's the one that Commissioner Brown was serving on. But I think they'd like to have a new member there. I think she may be too busy to serve on that now. Does that have to be a commissioner?
No, I think it can be anybody.
Okay. So that,
I think they prefer somebody that might have some sort of connection, like a commissioner, a doctor,
yeah.
counselor type.
So if y'all know of anybody, bring their name, make sure they're willing to serve. Item number 11 is I talked to Terry this afternoon. He's got over $1 million in splosh. He'd like to buy 2 dump trucks, 2 smaller trucks, $25,999 weight limit, that it does not have to have a CDL driver. He wants to get rid of 2 of the big tandem trucks that he has to have a CDL driver, and take these 2 trucks, buy these 2 trucks, where he can, it's not as hard to find a CDL driver. And he can run these in the county local, and the tandems that he'll keep will haul the gravel from the quarry to the yard, and they'll load these smaller trucks. And they, you still have the 2 of the tandems to do what they need to do, but he'll also have 2 of the smaller ones that he can get drivers for. They'll go out and patch a road, things like that.
We got 4 large trucks now, right?
We got 4 tandem dumps, but I think we got 2 Max and 2 Sterlings. The Max are newer than the Sterlings. I think he wants to get rid of the Sterlings and keep the 2 Max. And they should bring good money because, they're low mileage trucks.
How much are these, single axles?
They're gonna run with the dumps and everything ready to go to work. Automatic transmissions, Cummins engines, $125,000 a piece. That's with the dumps, the trucks, sitting here ready to go to work.
The Sterling will bring a little bit for it.
Well, I feel like they bring 35,000 with this, Danny. You know more about the dump truck business than I do.
Yeah, because they're all running trucks. They're not, there's nothing wrong with them.
On that price, is that something he's got to move on quick, something he's locked in before, that he needs to give them an answer before the next voting meeting?
If he waits a month, they'll be $7,000 higher.
What brand trucks are they looking at?
Freightliners.
Is that something we could, Avery, that we could give a go-ahead on to lock in the price and then cast a vote at the executive session, or not executive, but the regular session?
Will we have time, Chairman, at the next, if we approve it at the next meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, I think we got plenty of time. I don't think there's.
Yeah, I don't want
a rush.
to take a
Yeah,
$14,000 hit if we ain't got to.
right, exactly.
Okay. Any more questions? Item number 12 is, I've been asked about a stop sign on Waddell Road in Bob Carroll. That's Danny's district, Commissioner Ellsbury's district. You probably know more about that area than I do.
Yeah, it's right beside the little vineyard right there.
And he also wants to asked to have a no-through truck sign put on Waddell Road.
Now, is that,
What was the intersection road?
Bob Carroll.
Waddell,
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
is that something that, the county, we can do that?
We can do that on our own. I can do that on my own. I just want approval of the board to do that.
They having issues right there? That's coming out of that curve, ain't it? And
It's
then
going
off the
over
hill.
that Curve and, yeah.
It's a bad,
Yeah, it goes, dips
yeah,
down and
dips
turns.
down.
Little farm there on the right, if you're coming
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
113.
and Vineyard, yep.
Okay. That might slow them down Waddell a little bit.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And I'm sure they need a no-through truck sign there. GPS doesn't tell this small road anymore. Okay, item number 13 is executive session. Over potential litigation. Since this is a non-voting meeting, do I need to vote to go into executive session?
Yes, yeah, we still vote to go into executive.
I motion to move into executive session in reference to litigation.
Got a motion second, all in favor, show of right hand. We're going in